Everyone will get started here shortly. Hi, everyone. My name is Ellen, and I'll be leading you through today's presentation. I do have a few housekeeping items. The webinar will be recorded and posted in the toolkit on the Cincinnati Gives Challenge site under the Resources tab. You can also go, if you have any questions during the webinar, you can put them in the chat or Q&A. And I will either get to them as I'm presenting, or we have a Q&A section at the end that I will go through all of those questions to make sure I get them all answered. So here is a look at today's agenda. We'll be going over some of the basics. We're going to touch on getting started on the platform and all the prizes available. Then we'll move into a deep dive on strategizing and utilizing the tools that come with your Mighty Cause account. Lastly, if we do have time, we'll get to that Q&A, but I'm sure we will. There is a frequently asked questions section on the Cincinnati Gives website. So you may also check there, but it's very helpful. And you also have access to support@mightycause.com with any questions that you have. So here are some Cincinnati Gives Challenge basics. It is a 10-day campaign that starts on November 27th at 5 p.m. and ends on December 7th at 5 p.m. There is the online component of the Cincinnati Gives Cincinnati Magazine Guide to Giving edition. There are $35,000 in prize money available to organizations, and registration ends on November 20th. So I wanted to do just another quick overview of navigating your dashboard for your Cincinnati Gives organization page. So once you've filled out and submitted your registration form, you'll need to complete a few items on your to-do list to make sure that when donors visit your organization page, you have everything available for them to learn about your organization, as well as a lovely looking page. So a few of the basic items are to add a background image, upload a logo. That logo will be on all leaderboards and any of the bonus challenge leaderboards. So you want to make sure you upload one. You'll want to add a story, also kind of just a description of what your nonprofit does. You'll really want to build that story page just to make sure, give people a full idea of who your organization is. You'll also want to go through all of the checkout and the donation form. You'll want to create a thank you page for your donors that will appear after they've made their donation, as well as customizing your donation receipt. If you have any questions while editing anything on your organization page, you can reach out to support@mightycause.com. They are happy to help you, but it is helpful to kind of go through your organization page as well as going through everything on the dashboard to make sure that you have updated everything. You may have participated last year, but just double checking to make sure everything is up to date or evergreen for your organization page. So customizing your profile, as I mentioned, your profile is your face for the Cincinnati Gives Challenge. So you'll want to make sure it looks good and represents you well. Just so you know, your profile link is the link that you will share to all of your supporters to ask them to donate to your Cincinnati Gives Challenge page. So to share your page, just copy and paste the URL into an email or a social post wherever you are advertising your campaign. All donations must be made through your organization page to count towards the Cincinnati Gives Challenge. So you will want to make sure that you are sharing your organization page. That donate button on your organization page is where all donations should be made to count towards leaderboard and bonuses. If you have participated in Cincinnati Gives in the past, you will want to reset your metrics. You can simply click the pencil icon next to the display editor. You may also want to update your goal. That is where you will be able to do that as well. You will want to set metrics to start on November 27th at 5 p.m. The next item you will definitely want to customize is your checkout flow. This is located within your fundraiser section on the dashboard. The checkout flow is where your donors' experience will kind of make sense. So you'll want to customize it for your donors. The first part to customize is your checkout steps. This is probably one of the more important features to focus on when you're setting up your organization's profile page. The checkout flow section gives you a lot of control over the donation process for your organization on Mighty Cause. It allows you to opt into collecting the information you want from donors, like addresses and phone numbers. You can also set up custom suggested donation amounts and add descriptions to help tie in those amounts to items or services your nonprofit provides. This really strengthens your appeal to donate as well. The checkout steps within your checkout flow also allow you to preview the whole checkout process without actually making a test donation. So you can see what your final process look like and edit all of that yourself. As the post checkout section within your checkout flow is where you'll want to kind of set up your thank you page. So your thank you page is what pops up after a donor has made a donation. The thank you page editing is very similar to your organization page editing, where you can add videos, you can add images, you can add CTA buttons, leading them to next steps. This is something that you'll definitely want to set up or update from a previous year. Next, you have the donation receipt, which you can also customize. It also gives you the option to send a test receipt so you can see what your donors are receiving. It gives you that preview of exactly what your receipt will look like. So rules and prizes. So the Cincinnati Gives Challenge is offering a grand prize grants to the top 5 organizations on the leaderboard. The leaderboards will be live on the event site as soon as the challenge begins on November 27th at 5 p.m. So it's also important to mention that only online donations made through the Cincinnati Gives website will count towards leaderboards. So this is a big reason why you want to push your donors to give online. You can certainly record a check that is given to you, but those donations will not be reflected on leaderboards. The reason for that is because we don't and cannot verify offline donations. The leaderboards will reflect your cumulative total from the time the challenge begins at 5 p.m. on November 27th and running through the end of the challenge. there are a lot of additional prizes available. We have the Meet Your Match Challenge, which runs through the entire campaign. There's a bonus specifically for Giving Tuesday. Lots of opportunity here for you to win. All of these prizes, the method of entry and dates associated with them are on the challenge website under Rules and Prizes tab, so you can reference those at any time. One important thing to note is there are limits this year on how many prizes you can win. Each organization is eligible to 2 bonuses and then also the grand prize. So once you win 2 bonuses, you are no longer eligible to win another bonus, but you are still going for that grand prize. Bonus prizes will have live leaderboards as well, so you can see where you stand at any time. The key to winning them is getting your donors invested and helping you climb the leaderboards. So keep tabs on your position on the leaderboards and keep your donors and supporters updated on where you are. Continually emphasize how much is at stake. How much could this extra money do for your charity? What would help you? What does this money help you achieve overall? So you'll want to keep tying that message back into all of your social posts, all of your emails, to get people really excited about helping you win that money. And another trick is to just concentrate on sustaining momentum, since this is a 10-day challenge. So keeping the fundraising going and starting and finishing strong. So I do want to also emphasize the rules of the Cincinnati Gives Challenge. These rules are also on the challenge site, but I just wanted to emphasize and reread these. So you must be a 501c3. Participating organizations are only eligible for 1 grand prize as well as 2 bonus challenges. Organizations cannot donate to themselves, and you must have at least 10 unique donors to be eligible for a grand prize. Once again, offline donations do not count towards those prizes. Now we are going to get into some goal setting and leaderboard strategy. So SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Organizations that express goals in this way may stay aligned with their mission. Specific, kind of spell out exactly what you want to accomplish. Measurable, defined, and end results in quantitative or qualitative terms. Achievable, confirm that your goal is possible and reasonable to accomplish. Relevant, make sure your goals align with your organization and long-term objectives. And then time-based. So a great SMART goal would be to retain 40% of your donors from last year's campaign. We do have that donor retention report. Once again, I do recommend going through all those reports, or maybe increasing your total amount raised by $5,000. And things that wouldn't be so smart would be kind of vague examples like raise money or engage people. We definitely recommend these SMART goals to keep you on track, especially with it being a 10-day challenge. Scale your goals. You will want to scale your goals for your campaign. Set goals that are realistic, achievable, based on your organization's size and fundraising capacity. Look to last year's results and the results of the past or any past fundraising efforts to determine what an appropriate fundraising goal may be for your organization. Focus on setting goals that are meaningful for your organization. What will this money do to make a difference for your organization? Some non-monetary goals are another thing. This challenge is a great opportunity to engage all the people involved in your organization. It isn't about the money, so set some goals, further your organization mission. An example could be having 10 volunteers set up for your event. You now have the opportunities tool at your hands for this year's challenge. So getting volunteers to sign up and just be involved in your organization. It could be engage your peer-to-peer fundraisers or increasing number of gifts through online channels, secure a matching grant, which we'll be going into more detail about, just engaging your board of directors or increasing just a one-time gift. You will also want to map out your campaign with mini goals. So since the Cincinnati Gives Challenge is a 10-day event, the trick to making the most of your event is to sustain your fundraising momentum. And one great way to do that and make sure your campaign is on track is to set mini goals for your nonprofit to help generate buzz and build excitement. The great thing about the Cincinnati Gives Challenge is that they have almost daily prizes you can win. So you can utilize those to help sustain your fundraising momentum and get people really excited about helping you win those prizes. So you'll kind of want to make sure that you sustain that momentum. Donor retention is another great tool. So donors who have given to your organization in the past are low-hanging fruit. They are very likely to give. As many of you know, it is much less expensive for your org to retain a donor rather than get a new donor. So set a specific donor retention goal and wrap donor retention into your overall goals for the event. Donor retention is low across the nonprofit sector in the US. Less than half donors are retained. Make it a goal to retain at least 40% of donors from your 2021 or 2022 campaign. Make sure you do utilize the donor retention report if you have participated in the past. It allows you to get a snapshot of your org, of how your org is retaining your donors from year over year. You can export it with the export button and all of your donors' contact information. Another great strategy is the leaderboard strategy. So the leaderboards provide some of the biggest prizes available for Cincinnati Gives Challenge. And the key to winning them is getting your donors invested in helping you climb the leaderboards. So keep tabs on your position on the leaderboard and keep your donors and supporters updated on where you are. Continually emphasize how much is at stake. How much could 10,000 do for your charity? What would that do? What would that money help you all achieve? And then keep tying that back into your messaging. We will also note that each of the bonuses kind of have a different strategy along with them. So making sure that messaging is clear to your donors. Matching grants. This is a great strategy for driving donations on a giving day or challenge. So a matching grant is essentially a large donation that your nonprofit leverages to bring in other smaller donations by offering it up as a match. So for instance, if you had someone willing to give you $1,000, instead of just putting that money in the bank and calling it a day, you can use it as a matching grant. So the terms of the matching grant are totally up to you and the grantor, but let's say that you want to win bonus 2, you can take that $1,000 and say to your followers, hey, between this day and this day, donations will be matched up to $1,000, which basically allows them to double their donation. So say $200 or so say $200. So someone doesn't, you can put a cap on your donation of a certain amount. So if a large donation comes through, it doesn't take up that entire matching grant. It's a really cool and complex tool. We definitely recommend checking it out. You can also reach out to support@mightycause.com to help you set up matches if you have any confusions there. So the benefits of a matching grant, they definitely generate interest. They act as a buy one, get one deal, and inspire people to donate now. It makes your donation dollars go a lot further, since you offer this as a benefit to other donors as well. It also gives a sponsor or a donor an opportunity to have a little bit more notoriety or visibility with this matching grant, and gets them involved in a different way with your organization. It is a great strategy tool as well, since you can leverage a matching grant to climb leaderboards by using that matching grant to your advantage. It also is a proven way to drive donation volume and traffic to your Cincinnati Gifts page. Since all of the if you have a matching grant active, it pops up as a tile on your donate button, as well as a tile on search. So people will see that you do have a matching grant active and are more likely to donate. So how to secure a matching grant? So since a matching grant is ultimately just a large donation, you'll want to follow the same processes as you would when you secure a major gift. So you prospect, cultivate, and ask. So prospect. Who could provide that matching grant? Make a list of people, groups, or others who have a strong giving history and may be likely to provide that matching grant. Outreach, use personal one-on-one outreach to touch base with your prospects. Let them know about Cincinnati Gives and find out what they have going on. Ask if they seem interested or open and are able to be involved in Cincinnati. Make that ask. Let them know about the matching grant and see if they would like to provide one. So who provides a matching grant? People you should consider as prospects for a matching grant are board members, first and foremost. Sometimes an individual board member will be very happy to provide a matching grant, but one thing you can also consider is asking your board to work together to provide a match. If your board still has to pay its dues, for instance, you could utilize their dues by turning it into a matching grant. Major gift donors who have given large donations to your nonprofit in the past are also great prospects, and providing a matching grant can be a fun way to liven up their donation. Once again, instead of just writing a large check or a large donation to the site. Corporate sponsors are also great prospects because it's fun. They once again get that notoriety. At this stage in the game, you can start making phone calls, setting up emails, and starting to cultivate these prospects by letting them know what you're doing and seeing how warm they might be to the idea of getting involved. Then in the next few weeks, you can ask and shore up the details of that match. If you have more than one match running at the same time on Mighty Cause, you can also if you get a lot of responses, you can set them up as a queued match. So these matches will go one after the other, however you would like it to be set up. So we have a matching grants tool that allows you to set up the match before the event. The matching grants is found in the fundraising tools under matching grants. You will simply click create match, and this page will pop up for you. You can put your donor's name in there. You can send an email notification to them once the match has been met, so they can make that donation online to count towards leaderboards. You can add a logo. You can set up the date and time that you want the match to be active. You can also set it here to see that queued match. If you have multiple matches going, to have, once one match has been met, then the next queued match will go. There are different types of matches. So a per donation match, you can choose what percentage of each donation to match, set a cap on the amount that can be matched as well. Cumulative threshold match, a match is met when a donation amount or number of donations have been met. So however you would like to set up those matches, we have a few different options for you. If you have any questions while setting up your match, once again, you can reach out to support@mightycause.com and they are happy to help you out. So a few places where your matching grant will be displayed. A sticker is added to your donate button to make people aware that you have a live match. There is also a full profile of the matching grant in your organization page. When you scroll down, you can see all of your matching grants on the page. Cincinnati Gives will also have a matching grants page to show all of the matches. Donors can search for organizations with matching grants as well on the Cincinnati Gives page search. So there'll be a few places that your matching grants will be marketed. So it's definitely worth getting some set up. So here are some matching grants frequently asked questions for Cincinnati Gives. Does the matching grants have to be processed online? No, but only donations made through the Mighty Cause platform count towards prizes and leaderboard totals. So it is to your advantage that your organization if the donor makes the grant online. So that email that you put, you can use that as the notification to let the donor know to make their donation online of that matching grant. Or you can put your email in there, and once that match has been met, they can make the donation online through your organization page. Do donations made to peer-to-peer fundraisers count towards the match? This is your choice, so you can set it up as in the matching grants tool when setting up your match. You can also make matching grants just to specific fundraiser pages, but if you want it to count towards everything on your page, then you will simply make that matching grants through your organization page dashboard. Can I have more than one matching grant active at the same time? Yes, you can have multiple matches going all at once. If you enter your matching grant wrong, you can edit your grant as long as it's not closed. But once a matching grant has been closed, you can always delete it and start over again. If it has already closed and you put the matching grant in the past, it will still count all of those matches that have been made during that time period, as long as you capture the exact timing. If you cannot figure it out, you can reach out to support@mightycause.com, explain your issue to them, and they will be happy to help you fix it. So promoting your matching grant. At the end of the day, a matching grant is a marketing tool. So in order to make the most of your matching grant, you'll have to promote it. So the first step is going to the matching grants tool on your Cincinnati Gives challenge page and adding it there. There are also marketing tools built in to the platform for your matching grant, such as putting a sticker on your donate button when the grant is active. Some changes to the checkout process as well to reflect that match. And once again, it will be listed on your profile, but you'll also want to add some information to your story, especially if it is a big match, and also promote it on any of your social media challenges. Send out an email letting people know when a matching grant is active. Any sort of countdown adds urgency, so counting down and sharing your progress can be a great way to get people excited and urge them to stop what they're doing to make a donation. Next, we will talk about peer-to-peer fundraising and all of the tools we have on Mighty Cause. So peer-to-peer fundraising is a technique where you basically deputize your supporters to fundraise on your behalf. The Mighty Cause platform is actually set up for easy peer-to-peer fundraising, so this can be a great way to shake up your campaign and acquire new donors. So if you want to try peer-to-peer fundraising, you would ask your ambassadors to set up a fundraising page for your nonprofit on Mighty Cause for the Cincinnati Gives Challenge. This may sound like a big ask, but it's often a really fun way to engage your biggest supporters and allow them to tell their own story about your nonprofit, how they came to work with you. It doesn't distract or draw attention from your campaign, since it is supporters that you would have, since it is your supporter asking their supporters, so it's people that you haven't already reached out to, and is usually them just fundraising next to you. So good people to ask are people like your board, volunteers, staff, program alumni. This can be a great way for them to get involved without just being asked to give money. We've also seen some nonprofits get some great peer-to-peer action by just going and inviting people on social media or sending them an email and asking for their help. This is also a great way for younger people who have a big social media network and are really comfortable online, but may not have the cash to give. This can be an excellent way for them to make a meaningful contribution. To help make things much easier for your supporters, you can create a template in the fundraiser section under your dashboard. You'll see it under campaigns, fundraising template. You can put any story information you would like the donors to share, a logo, anything to make it easier for them to create a fundraiser page. If you have generated a lot of interest with these fundraiser pages for Cincinnati Gives, or have done this in the past, another great fundraising tools is the team fundraising. Teams and events can be a great way for groups of people who want to fundraise together, like your board, companies, or a volunteer group. Teams and events can be a great people working to start working together for a united cause and inspire a little bit of friendly competition to keep them motivated at the same time. The difference between teams and events is basically that an event allows individuals and groups of people to participate and fundraise together, while a team fundraiser is a group of individuals working together towards a collective goal. So the cool thing about our teams or events products for your giving day is that there are tools built in that make managing it much easier. So for instance, you can create a template fundraiser people can use to get set up a little bit more quickly, as I mentioned, and fill out that information. And then have them sign up. You can sign them up for that team so they can see how they are competing against one another. Marketing and promotion tips. So what is your story? If you only had a few minutes to tell someone what your work means to you, what would you say? So you'll definitely want to make it personal, make it visual on our organization pages. You can add photos and videos. Share different aspects of your story on social media as well. Make sure you are including your organization page link to make donations go through there. Tailor the ask for all of your stories, so make them more pertain to specific either volunteer groups or your board, and then tell donors about the impact they can make. So for peer-to-peer pages to work on the template, do you just click create new campaign? So for the template, anytime somebody, once you've created that template, anytime somebody creates a campaign, it will fill out that basic information. So your email is definitely going to be one of your most important tools during the Cincinnati Gives Challenge, because emails are a direct line to your supporters. Unlike social media, you don't have to worry about an algorithm getting in your way or preventing people from seeing what you sent them, because unless they have unsubscribed, it will end up right in their inbox. So I want to talk a little bit about email strategy, because it is going to be the most important thing for the Cincinnati Gives Challenge. In general, you'll want to keep emails relatively short, simple, and skimmable. Most people read their emails on their phones, so they won't want to read a novel. So once again, keep it simple, let them know exactly what you want from them. We also recommend identifying some key segments and making your emails tailored to each of them. Some great segments are past donors, volunteers, and board members. You can also segment by gift size to make sure that you're kind of asking the right gift. You wouldn't email a major gift donor asking for only a $25 donation. When an email is tailored to who the recipient is and the relationship they have with your organization, they are much more likely to read it and take it into action. So how you segment depends on the program you're using, but most services like Constant Contact and MailChimp you can use tags to segment those groups of the people on your email list. Another thing I want you all to pay close attention to is the timing of your emails, especially if you're aiming to win one of the bonus prizes. I would recommend taking the time to schedule as much as you can beforehand and have a template email ready for things to send out on the day. Like something day of might be an email blast asking people to help to get your campaign goal, or an announcement that you've won one of the prizes. As I mentioned before, most people read their emails on their phones these days, so make sure that you choose a mobile-friendly email template and test it out beforehand. Test it on your iPhone or Android if anybody in your organization has either an iPhone or an Android, and anything else there. I would also recommend trying out some different subject lines and formats. You'll want to make sure that people are opening your emails. I also would recommend making sure that your CTA buttons are clear and action oriented. You'll want them to say things like give now, donate now, help us today. More passive CTAs like thank you for donating or please contribute aren't as effective. So you'll want to be crystal clear on your urgency. So for these high stakes days, we really recommend staying in your comfort zone and going where your audience is. What I mean by that is that if you've never logged into TikTok before, don't start choreographing your videos today. You'll want to stay where you know you have the most followers. So if you have 1,000 followers on a Facebook, but only a handful on Instagram, then I would focus your social media efforts with that Facebook. I definitely recommend scheduling any posts you can ahead of time just to save yourself a lot of trouble during the challenge and leading up to it. get your key content scheduled with Facebook publishing tools or Creator Studio. Go into TweetDeck and schedule your tweets and save any of the live posting for stuff that needs to be done same day, like thanking a donor or any updates to your progress or prize announcements. So to that end, you'll want to assign a point person to monitor social media so you can quickly respond to comments and interact with your followers, since that is important on social media, and interactions can also help you in terms of the algorithm. We do also recommend budgeting a little bit of money if you're able to boost some of those posts or promote any of those tweets on social media. A $20 ad can go a very long way, so you'll want to make sure your ad is targeted properly. If you aren't able to show how, if you aren't able or don't know how to target an ad, you can always default to targeting the people who like your page or already follow you. So in terms of type of content that do well on social media, it kind of depends on the platform, but in general, photos and videos do very well. So you may want to consider doing something out of the box, like a Facebook Live or a watch party for your campaign, or a campaign video for Cincinnati Gives, to really help generate some buzz while delivering algorithm-friendly content. So some social media marketing tools, use the Cincinnati Gives hashtag. The giving event site does have a social media section at the bottom, so any Cincinnati Gives hashtag will be displayed on the giving event site. So you'll be seen if you do post that way. Also be responsive and respond to comments. So you'll want to thank people for their retweets, or if anyone comments on your post asking any questions, you want to make sure you have a point person to answer any of their questions. So some social media content that works. Videos, as we mentioned, are always very, very helpful on Facebook and usually get the most action. Also images. If you do not already, we definitely recommend starting Canva. Canva does have a free nonprofit pro version, so using that for your social media is super helpful, and can make all of your designs look a little bit more professional. Following up. So when you are planning your campaign, follow-up is always important to consider. Also, when you're planning all of your content, you'll want to make sure you have your thank you to donors ready as well. Things like making a video or a photo of all of your staff saying thank you to all of your donors can be a great way to do that. Be sure to talk about the impact of your funds you raised and close the loop on your campaign. That means if you are fundraising for something specific, like a new piece of equipment or improvements to your building or anything like that, you'll want to make sure you send an email periodically to the progress of that project. You'll also want to make an onboarding plan for any new donors. Also with the opportunities tool, you'll want to make sure that you're following up with anyone who signed up to be a volunteer through Mighty Cause as well. You just have different ways to reach out to these either new donors or new volunteers after your campaign. So how to thank your donors. You'll want to send them an email within 24 hours of your campaign. Make sure you make it personal or at least personal looking, so they assume that it is a more custom thank you. You can also give them a call. This is another great job for volunteers or reach out to anyone who wants to sign up to volunteer. Just make sure you are keeping on with that onboarding process. You can also send them a thank you card by your staff or executive director. You will also want to close the loop on your entire campaign, post any of your results on social media, send an email blast to all of those list of donors or any segmented donors for that matter. Close the loop on any storytelling. So if you're saying you're campaigning for something specific, keeping them updated on any of the news on that project. Just keep thanking them. You really cannot thank them too much. And then look forward to planting your seed for the 2023 campaign. As we are wrapping up, I just wanted to once again point out support@mightycause.com. They are available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Send them an email. I think that's definitely the quickest response. And that way you can send screenshots if you're having any questions, or they can really delve into what you're having issues with. But we also make sure you update your organization pages, go through all of the tools and fundraising tools that are available through Mighty Cause to make you successful for this year's campaign. Are there any other questions? Okay, I do not see any coming through. Once again, this will be recorded and put on the nonprofit toolkit. Oh, one came through. Yep, this will be on the nonprofit toolkit as well as the deck for anyone else at your organization. But yeah, if you have any, the thank you page is sent out automatically. Yes. So once a donation has been made, the thank you page is what pops up on the donor screen with whatever content you've added there. And then a receipt is automatically sent to the donor as well. We are suggesting at the end of the campaign, just sending out an overall thank you for all of your donors. It's the thank you that we send is not emailed to them. It's a thank you on the website and leading to CTA. So we definitely recommend doing a more personalized thank you for your donors. Any other questions? Okay, well, once again, registration closes on November 20th. And we happy fundraising, and we are hoping to have a very successful Cincinnati Gives. Reach out with any other questions, and thank you all for attending, and we'll be in touch soon.